audience, and I can't do it without you, friends. So I need your help. Please share the stream. Please comment. Ask me any question. I'm an open book. Again, I'm 44 years old. The purpose of this show is to reflect back on what I wish I would have known at 30 years old, or maybe even earlier in my life, because people ask me, hey, why do you say this stuff? Why are you so open? Why are you so hard on yourself? And let me tell you something. If you want to get good at something, you read it, you study it. If you want to get great at something, you teach it. This is my way of teaching. So, hey, that took about 46 minutes to get all that out. Hey, so tonight...
That was the intro. Now moving on.
Now we're moving on. Hey, we're talking relationships tonight. Hey, Cousin Charlie, thank you for getting on here, friend. Hit like, Stevie Z. Let me know you're out there, friends. Tonight, here's what we're talking about. Sometimes I get way too close. Talking relationships. And the other morning, I don't know how I came up with this idea, but of course I walked in there and I told Kathleen this is what we want to do. I am notorious for whenever I hear Brittany Renee or anybody else for that matter, but we're specifically going to make this for relationships. How do you feel when your significant other is telling you something and you already know the correct answer? If she just wants you or he or she to listen, and you already know, hey, she said one word, hey, Tommy, and I already know the answer. I'm trying to, it's like that game Family Feud. Remember how they had, bam, I didn't even get the question. I know it, don't I?
Yeah.
So how many of you, hey, Stevie Z, how many of you people, hey, Ryan Mudd, how many, my mama's on here, how many of you, especially my men out there, how often do you struggle whenever your significant other just wants to talk? They just want to vent. You want to go in there and be the know-it-all. You want to help solve the problem. How many of you are struggling with it?
Are you saying you're struggling with it? Or
well, of course, I'm going to always struggle with it. I'm a know-it-all. Who here can admit they're a know-it-all? I know I've got a weakness. I feel better about myself when I say I know the answer to something. Mm-hmm. It's a weakness.
Hey, you're the smartest man on earth.
I'm the greatest. So give me the girl's perspective.
On when men do this?
Let's start from the beginning. Brittany Renee. Hey, Roy Frazier, the premier insurance guy. Okay, so let's say you come in, you've had a bad day at work. Mm-hmm. You've got a problem with work, or maybe not this job, but maybe it's the last job. Uh-huh. You come in here and just tell me how you're thinking. What are you wanting to do? What is your mission?
Mission is to vent.
Okay.
Just to let it all out, to unload, not necessarily to get any fix-it tricks or, your input, but just to let it all out. Because in a sense, you and I in any relationship, that's kind of a role of ours.
Have you ever been on camera?
Hi.
Have you ever done that?
That's just one of our many roles that we have, is we are one of those, we're the person that our significant other wants to or has to unload on sometimes. Okay,
so how do I usually handle things?
Well, you like to fix stuff. You don't like, your friends or me to be upset or struggling with anything, so you try to go into fix-it mode. Okay,
so you men out there, how many of you do the same thing whenever your girlfriend, fiance, roommate, whatever you want to call her, wife, whenever they go into this venting mode and they're saying things, do you go into, I'm going to fix this for you. I'm going to tell you what you need to know. I'm going to give you the secret sauce right here to make this problem go away. Mm-hmm. How many of you people do that?
Ryan said you got to read It's Mostly His Fault. It talks about how to handle women. It's a book called It's Mostly His Fault.
Mostly His Fault.
I'm assuming is the name of the book.
My mama said you had a good reason to vent this week. Jimmy Turner, I love your content that you're putting out, man. That's awesome. I haven't seen many attorneys do what you're doing. You're definitely separating yourself. My buddy, Jimmy Turner, good job. So, I really, really struggle with when Brittany's telling me something. I feel like it's my duty, it's my obligation to tell her what I think is the truth. And sometimes she is telling me something, and I know with 100% certainty for a fact what she needs to do. But do you care? Let's say she's in a new business venture, And I don't care if I've been a real estate agent for 14 years. I have grown a business for 14 years. So whenever you're saying something, I think I've got the solution. Do you even want to know my solution?
No. Not most of the time, no. Maybe once I've gotten into problem solving mode, but usually when I'm venting, I'm not in problem solving mode yet.
So what happens when you're just venting and we're not trying to solve a problem, and then I'm like a dog sitting there just waiting to pounce and tell you this is all you got to do. I'm sitting there shaking. I just can't wait to get it out.
It's a trigger. It irritates me.
And then it probably causes a problem between us. And then I'm mad because you won't just listen to me. Ryan Mudd said just agree with her and say, yes, she is just talking it out. I know, Ryan. Gotta pick and choose your battles. You're exactly right. And
no, it's not necessarily a battle. It's not like you're trying to battle, and I'm not trying to battle. It just,
I'm just trying to fix it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make little Brittany Renee.
Band-Aid on there.
I'm just trying to make her problem go away. But what I'm doing is now I'm bringing a new problem into it. She's got a problem already. Then the new problem is I ain't listening, like Ryan Mudd said. I didn't agree with her. I should just listen to it. So how many of you are struggling with it? And do you think you're doing the wrong thing whenever you're I've got counsel about this. I've gone and I've talked. Well, okay. This is a question for everybody on here. Is the best thing for you should I let you fail at something? Because I've learned the most when I failed at it.
But do you think that honestly it's always going to end up in failure if I don't listen to you?
Well, there's a difference between failure and a setback. I feel like I could tell you something that could expedite your learning curve. And you're going to go through things that you don't necessarily have to. I do believe that, yeah.
But I guess what it sounded like you're implying is that I don't want to be on camera right now.
She's looking at me. She's looking at me like she's mad right now.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to get better understanding of what I'm wrapping my head around this. So you're basically implying that if I wasn't to listen to your suggestion, that I would be set up for failure.
I think because I believe I know with 100% certainty how you need to handle that situation, and I feel guilty if Carrie Latham, we're talking really about how men like me turn into know-it-alls. Brittany Renee will come in and she'll vent about something, and the moment I recognize what the problem is, I try to just shut her up. I cover up her mouth and
chloroform.
I put chloroform over
Go
her.
to sleep.
I try to knock her out and tell her, here's what your problem is. But really what she wants me to do is listen. And then the know-it-all comes out. And then what she really hates the most about me is when I become a mansplainer. For you that don't know what mansplaining is, that means when I'm stating obvious things. Hey, baby, it's raining outside. You need to go out there and make sure your car windows are up. Or so that's just an example. And she gets so mad whenever I start mansplaining. So here's my question.
Different.
Well, here's what.
Go and roll your window. That is different.
Mansplaining is when I'm being Captain Obvious. She already knows something, and she feels like, hey, Sting Man is a good man. Okay, Leslie, I appreciate everybody that's throwing out some questions or some statements for us to talk about. And Donna, hey, man.
Wow. Women are stronger than men, understand at times. Just need an ear and let them figure out the steps. Jimmy said, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in life, and that is why I succeed.
Jimmy, what has that got to do with mansplaining to your girlfriend or your wife? What has that got to do with you bringing Michael Jordan in? Women, ladies out there, why do men struggle so much with just listening? I'm going to be the first one to admit this. I struggle when that conversation starts. I know it's going to be like 4 or 5 hour conversation. I'm just trying to fix it faster.
Well, hey, it goes both ways because I feel like sometimes I get in fix-it mode with you and you probably get annoyed with me. Like your whole, exhaustion and being sore and you say you're going to take a break and I'm like, okay, that's what you need. Great. And then now just a minute ago, you're like, oh no, I've changed my mind. I'm getting up and I'm going to the gym. And I'm like, okay, well, you shouldn't. I mean, I feel
That's
like
well. Hey, I'm going to tell you even one better, but I don't want to give you credit for it. But see, sometimes the man or the woman, while they're doing this know-it-all, they're right. The other person just gets mad. A few weeks ago, there was something going on, and it was something with technology and using dot loop. And I was like, I don't need to know how to do dot loop. And Brittany kind of shut me down, saying, no, you do need to know how. And I was mad, and I was trying to justify
why you don't need to know.
well, I don't need to know. But that's what happens whenever people don't feel like somebody's listening. They start coming up with
Justification.
They start to come up with any way to justify something to say they're right. Jordan Spurlock, how are you doing? Jimmy, Tammy Lane Coleman, is Terry Coleman a mansplainer? Is he a know-it-all? Tammy, you're probably more the know-it-all in that household. I know how you are stubborn. Okay, so whenever we're having these conversations, the lady, let's call her the lady of the house. She wants to talk about something. She's going on and on and on about something. And men hear this and they want to fix it and move on. They want to diagnose the problem. I'm listening. And after about 4 or 5 minutes, they already know the solution. Okay? So
Is it the solution though?
Well, it
Or
is.
is it just a solution?
It's a solution to
Okay.
fix the problem, but it may create another problem by not listening. So which one should a man do?
Well, baby, you don't know that's going to fix the problem. You think it's going to fix the problem. And it may be a very great suggestion, but you don't know that it's going to fix the problem.
Okay, but what if in my mind I'm 100% certain it will fix the
Because
problem?
you're a know-it-all.
Because I'm a know-it-all. So how do you fight this off? How do you handle this? How do
If you don't
communicate?
do what I say to do, then
Well-
you're going to fail.
Well, what if I do know this? What if I do know, look, if you do it the way you're talking about, I know the outcome. Mm-hmm. If you do it this way, I can give you a better chance of a more successful outcome. What should I do?
You never really know the outcome, though. Every situation's different because place is different, time is different, people are different, everything's different.
Okay, Ryan Mudd said, I keep digging myself into a bigger hole. Hey, I'm just trying to get some people to talk about it. Women aren't looking for a solution. They're venting. Okay, well,
Ryan is over here on the Brittany fence.
he is on the
like-
Brittany fence,
I
but
like
hey, I'm
Ryan.
just... I like Ryan too.
I like Ryan.
But hey, I try to take pride in being a great listener. Don't I?
Carrie, my brain, like Brittany's, has likely already ruled out everything you are bringing to the table. We women are way ahead of the thought process, but your input is cute. I agree, Carrie. I am an overthinker. So before I even bring it up to Tommy, I have thought all about it.
Okay, so that is a great point right there, and I understand what you're saying. But what if what you're thinking is something that you don't know that I know? What if already have what if I've already got experience in something that you don't? You're going through something. Because I feel like I've been through 7 years of a business coach.
It doesn't always have to be about business.
Well, a lot of times that's why.
Relationships, friendships, life struggles, situations. But here's the thing. It's on the Brittany train. Here's the thing. The only time that I ever feel, since I am an overthinker, that maybe, listening to you could be somewhat beneficial in a time like this is if I am so into that deep thought that I'm fogged. And maybe I wasn't able to think clearly on something. Maybe you might shed some light on something that I didn't really see or think of. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I know I like to go to higher level thinkers than me. No,
Yeah.
hey. So whenever
So you're saying you're
well, I feel like I should. Hey, I should be a higher level thinker than you. Hell, I'm 12 years older. Hey, I'm 24 years older than you. You should expect me to be.
You were a late bloomer, though.
I am a late bloomer. You're way ahead of me when I was your age. Mm-hmm. But because I'm so much older than you, I'm letting you down if you can't come to me to get advice. That should be one of the few reasons why you look up to me. Don't you think?
One of the million.
One of the million. So I feel like I've been through this. I've been through a lot more life. Hey, I appreciate everybody getting on here. Mike, hey, Frenchie, how are you? Please share the stream out, guys. I can't do it without you. Mike French, I'd love for you to come to Belinda Ehrender's lunch. Weatherman, I'm better late than never. Frenchie, I would like for you to come to Belinda Ehrender's Lunch and Learn. I'm speaking at it next Friday at the Parthenon. It's a free lunch. I'm going to talk about building my brand. Love for any realtor on here to come to it. You'll get a free lunch. You can ask me any question. So, Weatherman is a good, believe it or not, I'm going to brag on Weatherman because Weatherman is a first off, he's a very godly man. And a lot of his advice stems from a biblical context. Mm-hmm. He is very good whenever I'm going through things or whenever I'm giving my point of view. He's very good at giving me clarity on how the other person thinks. That is a valuable thing that people need to get they need to get a better understanding of. Whenever they're talking with somebody, whenever they're debating with somebody, whenever they're going through things, it's very, very valuable to know how the other person is thinking, how you're making them feel. And if I don't stay in that mindset, I forget that. It always goes back to, hey, I don't know why they're doing it that way when I'm the greatest. All they got to do is listen to me. That's how pathetic I get. Think about how I sound whenever I'm saying that. Brittany, you're stupid if you don't do it the way I'm telling you. You're just wasting. Well, that's how you take it. Is it because
everybody else took it that way too?
Okay, well, I believe whenever we're talking about certain things that I know for a fact, I feel like you should listen to me. Coach Burt's on here, the guy we can't do without. Hey, how can I be wrong if I've been coached by the super coach for 8 years? Just in that context.
Even the super coach has
well,
struggled
man,
with this.
He probably does struggle with it.
I don't care who you are. You have struggled with it. Everybody.
Anytime you're emotionally close to the situation, it takes away a lot of your awareness, the way you think, what it does. Here's something that I learned is sit in the kitchen table and just listen to Brittany and you'll be in her corner. Well, let's ask her, Ryan Mudd, because whenever we get in a fight, sometimes I got to bring out my superior sales skills to win the argument. I don't even usually try to win arguments, do I? Do I try to win arguments?
We never really have a situation where we have to win or lose an argument.
The only problems we have is Brittany is very, very feisty. She's got like a no-nonsense.
No nonsense.
She's no nonsense. I mean, she's very hard-nosed, and if I say something, she'll try to light me up. But I think if you were to ask her, I usually I don't argue much to her.
No.
Now, where I get into trouble is the way I explain things. That's where I get into, because Angie Morgan, an agent in our office, she'll tell me, I teach with a lot of conviction, a lot of anger, it sounds like. It sounds like I'm mad, kind of like Sam Kinison in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. He's just very intense. Yeah. So whenever I'm talking to Brittany, and this is a weakness because whenever you're communicating with people, it's not just the words; it's your tone. Like it's how you're making them feel. So I could be right in my words and what I'm telling her, but I could be wrong because my delivery is making her not even listen. You can be right, but not be convincing.
Right.
Hey, Stephanie, favorite, how are you doing? Bill Wilson. My mama's on here. Kevin Travis, how are you doing?
Douglas said compromise.
Well, we're not really talking about that, Mama. What we're talking about is Stevie. You're exactly right. I get on to Stevie all the time about how he delivers something.
You tell him to soften it
Yes. But whenever I get zoned in, and first off, my awareness is gone. It checks out. So whenever I start coaching you up, it goes from in here a good thing, it comes out like a nasty, like I'm yelling at you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean for it to sound like that. So, hey, guys out there, if you don't want to be like me and piss off your girlfriend about once a week because you think you're doing the right thing, you've got to be aware of how you're making other people feel. How to Win Friends and Influence People is the best book I've ever read. And the whole premise, and Tony Woodall, he's joined us. He is one of the best
Hey,
Him
the
and
best.
him and the weatherman are brilliant at presenting how other people are feeling.
Right.
I mean, they can make you more aware of how you're making them feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, thank you. It's good to see you today, Coach. So, where was I? Where are we? Where are we right now?
You were talking about how when you tell somebody or you're mansplaining, you come across angry.
Okay, so when you're mansplaining, this is something we probably get into it quite a bit about. Whenever I go into a mode of, it's really where I'm telling her things that she feels like, you're calling me stupid because I already know this. Why are you? But she don't say it nice like that. She's ready to fight me whenever she's telling me this. So hey,
I'm putting on my boxing gloves.
so guys, to be in and me and Weatherman talk about this because Weatherman's got a very intense wife too. She puts up with no bullshit. She ain't about to put up with his stuff.
Right.
He's very good. Weatherman can sit back and that's what he talks about. It takes a strong man to be able to not try to prove your wife wrong. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if you don't,
I'm right.
No, I feel like if I know something, I need to let you know. Maybe I could soften it up. Maybe I could say, "Hey, you're right. I understand how you feel."
Oh, here we go.
And then I could go into why I feel the way I feel. Maybe I could tell you a little bit of a story. Instead, I cut a lot of that part off the big kahuna. Thank you for getting on here. Hey, it's coming up that time of year where it may be time to get that HVAC checked. Got to call the big kahuna. My guy, Shane Ray, he's on here. So I have learned something already. I've gotten away from my fundamental beliefs of how you sell. So whenever me and Brittany Renee are having these discussions, because they always start out as friendly discussions, she's saying something, and really what I'm neglecting is her feelings. I do not acknowledge how she feels. I immediately go from listening to solving the problem. There's something, there is a step that I have left out, and it's acknowledging the way you feel. And whenever you cut off the way somebody feels,
But if it's not about who is right, but just about listening.
Danny, your wife is always right. So what I was saying is you've got to make sure that they feel like you value what they're saying. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when you're a know-it-all, and I got to be honest with you, I'm a know-it-all. And that's something that I struggle with. It's something that I can't say I'm not a know-it-all. I think every one of my friends on here will just come out and say, yeah, he's a know-it-all. It's one of the qualities I don't like. I don't like it, but it is me. What if it's not about who is right, but just about who is listening? Okay, Tony. If, first off, hey, I know that you struggle with this too, so don't go in here and try to get your credit. I know what you struggle with. So what if Kara is talking, and what if she's going into a, what if you can just see her driving off a cliff? Okay? Now, where I'm messing up is I'm not acknowledging things, but I'm saying, hey, before you get to this cliff, you need to turn. Of course, it's not just a man, but I can only talk from a man's perspective tonight.
That's exactly what I said in the beginning. I said it goes both ways.
It does go both ways.
I try to fix stuff too with you, and you probably don't want to hear it a lot. You gotta eat some humble pie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner tonight.
But this is my way of doing that, Ryan. This is my way of acknowledging that I've got to get better. Because I believe if you want to get great at something, you go out and you teach it. This forces me to bring awareness. See, I haven't even told Brittany Renee she was right about that dot loop thing because of my pride. Hey, you're right about that dot loop. I should know how to do dot loop.
Tell me.
Did I? Mm-hmm. When?
That day.
Did I really? Mm-hmm. Well, I thought I was sitting here.
Because you knew that you acted like that.
Well, you were right. But again, remember this, people. You can be right, but that does not mean you'll be convincing. If I don't feel like, hey, you know why she did not convince me, Stephen? Because she didn't say I was the greatest. I'm the greatest.
I did convince you almost immediately on that.
Maybe you did. Oh, Tony Woodall said she drove fine before she met me. Oh, I thought he was talking about you. Brittany Renee, I'm sure she feels like she can drive. She probably feels like she drove fine before she met me, and she probably feels like she can drive fine without me. But what if I can see her swerving, Tony Woodall? What if she's going over? What if she's trying to pass on a double line? What if I see a car coming that she can't see? Should I tell her? Or do you let them crash? Because if you think about this, you'll learn the most when you fail.
Mm-hmm. You learn from your mistakes.
You learn more from your mistakes. So let me ask you, should I, in these situations that we're speaking about, should I allow you to do it your way, or should I interject?
Or the right way, as you would say.
Well, there's only a few things I feel like I know in our relationship with certainty. And I feel like when it comes to how I treat people, like at work and that stuff, I feel like, hey, this is my special little sauce. Because I'm the greatest. I know it all, okay?
Hey, baby.
What?
I may have been able to drive fine without you, but I drive better with you.
Oh, because I'm a backseat driver. Look out. Hey, that's another form of mansplaining, right? Hey,
Yep.
We went to go, Carrie Latham, the best.
The best feeling is walking away, leaving your spouse partner elevated with a sense of importance and significance. That's the best for the relationship, not being right. Hashtag 25 years of a hot marriage.
No, Carrie, you know, I'm going to give you a huge compliment, you and David. Y'all have been married 25 years, and if I were to look at you guys and how committed and how connected you guys still are, how much you support one another, I mean, I hope me and Brittany Renee are like that. But I don't know if she can put up with me and my mansplaining and me being perfect for 25 years. But hey, when I look at you guys, excuse me, you look like somebody that just met. I mean, you guys are, if I were to say that's the way I would want my ideal to look. I love after 25 years, it looks so fresh. It looks so exciting. It looks, I mean, it just looks so connected. She doesn't need you to allow her to do anything. She is a grown-ass woman.
I love you, Tony.
Okay, Tony. Okay, but hey, what if she is doing fine? What if she is doing fine? But what if some new things have come up, some new challenges that I've been through before, and I can help her navigate through there without having any problems? Should I do it? Should I do it in the way I do it? Because I'm kind of an all or nothing person. You know, I'm good at jumping in and saying something, or I can just go quiet. Which one? Hey, audience, which way should I do it? Brittany Renee, let's put you on the spot.
Don't put me on.
Hey. What would you, now I'm going to put, this is going to be my proof. The next time you're sitting there telling me something, do you want me to get engaged tonight, Tommy? Don't put, I think I tried to propose to her a few weeks ago and she ran off when I tried to do it.
No, you didn't.
She did.
It was Y'all, he is lying. Do not listen to him.
That's
not how the conversation went.
She ran from me. So, hey, I need to know this. In the future, and we can always pull this up, when you're telling me something, you've had a bad day and you're venting, do you want me to tell you what and we're trusting my judgment here, my experience. And here's why I feel like I'm qualified to give advice, because I've done it both ways. I've led a business from here to the ground, and I've led it back up. So I feel like I know. I've seen both sides of it. So
can I interject? Because I feel like our relationship, we're very good at communicating.
Baby, do you want to get in this camera? You're trying to get over here like Lucky.
I was just looking at you. So I do I do feel like we do communicate well for the most part. We do talk a lot about things that most relationships, they don't touch, they don't talk about. So I have in the past asked you for advice.
Okay.
Right? I sit you down. I'm like, hey, I need your advice on this.
Yep.
I need you to tell me what you would do. So whenever I need it or I'm asking for it, I do like verbally ask for it.
Okay.
So that's how you can kind of know the difference. But if I'm sitting here and I'm just like, you know, this is going on, blah, 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 and I'm not asking for it, then that's just me letting some steam off.
And it's so easy to sit there and say that, ain't it? Because, hey, here I go into know-it-all. I'm going to prove her wrong. I'm going on attack. I'm North Korea. Because I'm about to shoot a missile back at you. No, but you are right. Joe Hafner told me this. Joe Hafner, the great Joe Hafner says this. If you walk into his office, hey, do you just want to vent or do you want me to give you advice? That's a beautiful thing to say. But, you know, I noticed the other day, if Nicholas makes a complaint, you go into Tommy mode.
A complaint about what?
Whenever Nicholas says something like he didn't like jiu-jitsu the other night and you're trying to, he was just venting because I was in the car with him and you went into Tommy mode.
What did I say?
Well, you was just trying to fix the problem. Do you remember doing that? Oh, baby, blah, blah, blah. And he just, all he wanted to do was vent about having a hard day. It's really hard when you're a type A person. You know, I don't know I just know I'm a know-it-all, Stephanie. Cousin Stephanie.
We took that personality test. What were you?
Co-pilot.
Douglas said you are a learning co-pilot, Tommy and Brittany.
Hey, let's give a big shout out to Douglas, my mama's husband, my stepdad, who, you know what? If I could be half the man that guy is, if I could go fix stuff, I mean, hey, that's who I should strive to be more like. Whenever something needs to be done, it doesn't matter. We can always count on Douglas Brooks to
save the day.
I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is. And I mean, more men should strive to be like Doug than sissy men like I am. I mean, if I had to go put up those racks the other day, I couldn't do it. I mean, men should be told.
The thing with him is, he doesn't just come and do that. I mean, he even did extra stuff that I didn't even need or want, but he did it just because he thought that way and he's caring and he just went above and beyond. I mean, I really appreciate you a lot, and I hope you know that.
Hey, we think you're the greatest, Doug.
You're the greatest, Doug.
I used to think I was the greatest, but more men should strive to be like that. He is awesome. Hey, that's Donna Brooks' brother, Rod Key. I may come in there tomorrow.
No, Rod. He needs a break.
No, I think I'm coming in there.
Hey, I'm just letting you know, Rod, it is painful watching him even walk right now.
He doesn't know. He doesn't believe me whenever he sees how much pain I'm in. I need to run that 5K Saturday. My mama said she's crying. Hey.
Don't cry.
Didn't mean to make you cry, Mama. Cut that part out. But, hey, we're very thankful for you and Douglas, Mama. Very thankful. But, hey, so here's what, we've been doing this 35 minutes. So here's what, I do this so I can hold myself more accountable. The next time Brittany comes in here and she's venting, I do not have to solve the problem. I don't even have to give her advice.
So, am I going to be able to play this for you the next time you try to go into mansplaining mode? Yeah,
and I need to be man enough to say, you know what, you're right, I'm wrong. And I feel like I can do that. I feel like if I'm wrong, I can come out and say I'm wrong. Do you?
Yeah.
Are you just saying that?
Donna said, you guys are awesome and are going to be just fine.
Well, we'll be fine if
I listen to him.
If she'll yield to me and my selfishness. I'm an only child. She's got to do this.
I'm an only child too. You forget.
We're both only children. Do we have any more?
The difference is I've had my own child, so my selfishness has shifted.
My 5K was 34:18, Ryan, which I need it down to about 30, and I can probably get it down there. It's a lot of love being passed on around here. Maybe we can talk about how one day we need to talk about this. If I can get the men to man up and give the opinions on how do you deal or how do you cope whenever your woman gets a tone, gets that mean tone. How do you deal with that?
What's a mean tone?
You know how you get, just mean, head moving. Hey, Chris Garrett, how are you doing?
A snake.
Chris, are you whenever your wife comes in and she's talking, are you great at listening before you offer a solution, or do you go right into save the day mode? Like me, I go a little beyond save the day. I pull out like my encyclopedia of Tommy facts. Thank you, buddy.
Is it raining?
There's probably, Hurricane
Monsoon coming?
Harvey's coming. So is there anything, we're at 8:37, it's our bedtime. Me and her both go to bed now before 9 o'clock. Bring us wine. Where are you, Don? Are you in Jacksonville? Okay, Chris is the same way. He goes into fix-it mode. Chris, he fixes things all day, and then it's hard for him to go home and just turn that off.
Right. I understand.
Do I think it's genetic? Of course it's genetic. I think. Hey, everybody, I appreciate you on here. I appreciate the comments, and I appreciate it. This is something, the reason why I do this is because it does bring more awareness to my weakness. It helps me internalize things. It helps me improve because every day I continue the quest to get better. I am all about reaching my potential, and doing these little things helps me do that. Brittany Renee bringing up my weaknesses helps me do that because I don't want to hear only the good things. I want to hear the truth. I want to know where I'm at and how I can get better. Rusty, how are you doing, buddy? Good to see you on here, man. Go Vols. Is there anything that you would like to add to hey, there's one of my favorite aunts. Fingers. One of my favorite aunts is on here.
Helen.
Talking about my mansplaining.
Is there anything I want to add?
Yeah, tell me if there's anything that I definitely need to get better at. What would you say it is? And don't hold back.
Well, baby, I don't really know. I'd have to make a list.
How often do I I want to know, like, how often do I mansplain? Do I even know when I'm mansplaining?
Well, I mean, like you said earlier, I think it's hard for you to turn that switch off once you come home from work because all day you're in fix-it mode. And like Chris, I mean, it's hard to just kind of transition into a different role of being a supporter just by listening.
I ain't the best listener, am I?
Mm-mm. But I mean, it's not like an everyday thing. I mean, it's not like I'm coming home having to vent every day. I mean, that'd be a terrible life if I had to do that.
No, it's very seldom.
Yeah, but so I love you.
Well, I love you too. But that's okay. It's okay because nobody's perfect. Nobody. I mean, there's no such thing as it always going. Where's that dog at? Where's our dog? Well, guys, hey, we've been going for about 40 minutes now. I don't know if I've run out of content here, but I love doing this. I love sharing. I love being open. I don't know. I like to come up with a life lesson between now and then. And I like to discuss it.
I think people are really digging the personal, intimate relationship.
Well, I want people to listen to what my struggles are and then internalize their own and make their own relationships better. If I could say something that will help you think, hey, am I like that? Am I doing that? So again, I really feel like if I can show you what's not working, why wouldn't you copy it and go out and do what I'm telling you to do versus here I go being a know-it-all again. But if I'm telling you what does not work, why don't you listen and not do it? Okay, don't do what I'm telling you that does not work. So before we shut it down, please share the stream. If you share the stream, we do pick one winner every show to have dinner at my favorite restaurant, the Alley on Main. Me and my buddy Ryan Mudd went there. The chicken parmesan is the best that you'll have, period. I guarantee you, you won't find a better chicken parmesan than the Alley on Main.
We need to go there this week.
We do need to go there. We do. All right, guys, it's been 41 minutes. Unless there's any questions that come in, hey, we'll see you. Tell Lance I said hi. We're going to shut it down unless there's any new questions that pop up. And we'll go over there and watch that football game and fall asleep. Wake up, go to the gym in the morning. No. I probably will. All right, guys, thank you much. Have a great Labor Day.